Good afternoon, everybody, and my pleasure to be sharing these last two group presentations as well, and both have to do with teaching English and education. The first group is on the Foreign Language Teaching Assistant Program, and the group presentation is under the title Re-Entering the Educational System. And the presenters are in alphabetical order. Please come forward to the podium. Ahmed Arafa Aziz, Anthology Secondary School. Eman Taher, Salahuddin International School and American University in Cairo. Maha Ahmed Elkinani, the Arab Academy. Reem Mohamed Ahmed, Latin Academy. You have 15 minutes for your presentation, and please start by introducing yourselves as well, and the host institution, and an idea of it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our topic is about re-entering the educational system, presented by Eman Fathallah, State University. Reem Mohamed, she's absent today, she's sick. University of North Georgia. And we have Ahmed, please.
Yeah, I'm Ahmed Arafa, the FLTA, State University of New York, and Cobleskill. Yeah.
And finally, Maha Elkinani, Benedictine University. Okay, so the main outlines for our presentation is our experiences in the United States. Second, our 5-month life after coming back home. Okay, our experiences in the United States is comprehensive, or they are comprehensive experiences, because we had volunteering activities, courses we studied, and finally traveling experiences. Before moving to the first point, volunteering activities, let's say that education and learning is like a life circle. You learn from your home country, you move to another country, you learn something else, and you transfer your knowledge and what you learned in your home country to them, and then you go back to your country. You put your this output as an input in your educational system. Maybe in the future you move again to another place and you transfer all the knowledge you gained to this new place. So, to start by the volunteering activities, let's move to something, the skill that we gained generally, me or Ahmed or Reem or Maha. It's all about uncover some skills or learning new skills or even improving skills. Each one depends on their background and culture. For me, at State University, I had a chance to participate in different and varied activities. It was cleaning up after the hurricane. I had the experience of Irma, a panelist in important events and conferences, La Casa Cultural Latina at State University, a culture fair for D-Land school children. D-Land, this is where the university is. Arabic language activities as a teacher assistant, and finally D-Land community and the nearby areas. Where are they? Oh yes. Actually, this is the fair, school fair. It's an annual fair done by State University for the school children. In the United States, not everyone has the chance to travel abroad or even move from their area or their state to another state. So what they make, like a simulation model, we have international students on campus. Each one of us represents his or her country, culture. So I had the chance to represent the Egyptian culture to the students. Actually, I represent them by showing them two famous characters in cartoon, Bakar, and the other one is Nuhi. And they know about we have cartoon. They listen to our songs. They make fanus or the Ramadan lantern, and this just was experience. All the children just coming to me, I need to do it. Even just the time was squeezing, and I tried to serve as many as I can. And then another experience, actually it was on campus, but it's moved also to off campus. It was with the Muslim Students Association. Actually, they give me support and introduce me to other associations on campus and other associations of campus. And we had a chance to have interfaith dialogue. Some other universities used to come to the Islamic Center and have Q&A questions. So in this event, it was Embry-Riddle University. They were coming and asking about Islam and other things to have understanding. This is one of the aspects I learned. And what I learned here will have an impact on my experience later re-entering the Egyptian educational system. One thing, yes. One also of the activity that some of my students, Arabic students at Stetson, I had the idea of having video conference instead of introducing other Arab cultures. No, I will let other Arab FLTAs to share their culture and community and traditions to them, so they have like a practical experience about, for example, the Moroccan dialect and other things. And this idea was applied by other FLTAs, whether either Arab or Egyptian. Also, I had a chance to give presentations or being a panelist on different occasions as the International Peace Day, to talk about my individual experience and related to my individual experience with my international and peace movements. And also another session or another workshop, it was about gender in different religions. And I was invited to be a panelist and talk about women in Islam in my perspective. And it gave other people insight and an idea about Islam and women, how this issue is dealt in Islam. Yeah, this is La Casa I forgot that. Yeah, Cultural. Actually, this was a great chance. Now I'm a part, or I was a part of the American Society, one of the main cultures in the American Society, the Hispanic and Latin culture. And actually, Dr. Pamela, the one in black, she has a program or an initiative at Stetson to teach them, the Hispanic community in D-Land, teaching them English. And I was a volunteer for one semester to help in this program and teach English, and also assist other teachers who work in the program to improve their teaching technique. Then Ahmed Arafa, he has his own showcase of volunteering activities.
Okay, good afternoon everybody. Most of the presentation is upon her shoulders, and this situation reminds me with an Egyptian movie, a scene from an Egyptian movie with Ahmed Halmi when he pops up and says, Shukran. Okay, first of all, I'd like to talk about two main things in my volunteering activities. First of all, I'd like to talk about my experience in the food bank. Okay, this was the first time in my whole life to have the volunteering activities. I've heard a lot about the pleasure that you have when you volunteer in any activity, but this was the first time to experience this pleasure. It helped me a lot to discover new things in my life. It helped me to discover my passion in helping other people. And actually I was responsible for packaging some food, and I spent most of the time doing this activity, and it helped me a lot when I came back into my home country to start to think about the past. Why didn't I volunteer in something like this? And I started to network with some of my friends in certain organizations to do something like this in Egypt. And the second activity is the presentation. When I reached the US, I was asked many questions like, where are you from? I'm from Egypt. Oh, do you have supermarkets? Do you have cars in Egypt? I was shocked. Many people in the US have no idea about Egypt, okay? And they had no idea about even how we are dressed, how we use transportation, okay? So I thought this is the right time to give a presentation. And they told me, when I was organizing the presentation, they told me it will be in, it's not in class, it was for the whole university, okay? It was attended by faculty members, students, and some of the parents of the students. It's hard to explain. I was so scared to do this because it's not easy to represent your country and your culture. But anyway, the name of the presentation was Walk Like an Egyptian, to give a kind of sense of humor, to attract people. And it was a completely cultural presentation. I played some music parts for Kulthum. I showed them our national team for football. I talked about costumes. I talked about every single thing, even cafes and tea and coffee on our cafes and that stuff. And it was amazing. Actually, I received tons of emails after this. And even after the presentation, I received tons of questions asking me about Egypt, about how things are going in Egypt, and I was so happy to answer all these questions. And as I mentioned earlier, I got many emails from faculty staff and that stuff congratulating me on the presentation. I was so happy to do this activity. Yeah?
Briefly, okay. And then we move to another aspect that influenced our experience in the United States, which was courses we studied. Actually, for Reem, this is her case. Briefly, generally it's applied to many of the FLTAs in this group, that courses we try as much as we can related to our career and professional or academic growth, and we start to find what we need. Like as Reem, she felt that because she had a career shifting from accounting to teaching in 2013, she found out that she needs courses related to linguistics, standard English grammar, composition, and Spanish 101. You will find me and Ahmed and Reem studied Spanish 101 to compare and have self-reflection on our teaching, not just as a language. Another way of it, just watching and reflecting on other way of teaching. The same thing for Stetson. I had 4 courses. 2 of them were credit, both of them were part of a master's degree, educational leadership, multicultural education, and curriculum development. Just moving, and Ahmed, the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Traveling experiences. We traveled to different parts in the United States. It's about to reconnect with other Arab FLTA or Egyptians, meeting new people. When we started to share, booking hostels, knowing new roommates from the United States or from different parts of the world, and coming to stay a couple of nights in the same city. Actually, me and Reem, we shared the same winter break trip, and we went to different places. Actually, like one of the things, this is Anna, we met her in California, San Francisco, and she came to us and said, I want to know you. And she started to introduce herself to us. She and her husband are studying in the United States. Now, our 5 months life after coming back, this is the second part. We're going to cover it as 3 phases: as a teacher, as a student or a researcher, and as a community engagement participant. I'm sorry for this misspelling, just typing. Okay, for our 5 months, let's take as a teacher, each one of us, how we put this experience as a teacher. Ahmed is saying that my teaching technique became communicative, got a new job at not courses to apply the acquired teaching skills. For me, integrated. Okay, thank you. Integrated broad topics into my curriculum, changed structure of my syllabus, and as student or researchers, we all agree on that we gained research skills. Ahmed is planning to apply for a master's degree. Me the same, he's in TESOL. Me, I'm thinking of human rights education or comparative education system. I also applied my research skills as a presenter. I applied as a presenter in the Royal TESOL Conference 2019. Reem, the same thing. Maha also, she gave a workshop on language assessment at the Royal TESOL organization. Finally, as a community engagement participant, I made a live video on Facebook to tell people about the program, networking with different and local centers to tell them to give a workshop about the program or even educational topics. I learned it from my studied courses. Okay, and Ahmed, the same thing. Reem, thank you so much for listening.
I think I studied just four courses in the US, and 2 of them were Spanish 101 and English, and I did this on purpose because I just wanted to see how the American people are teaching languages, because before I visited the US, I had a kind of confusion. Are we following the correct path while we're teaching English here in Egypt? And actually, I got many new things. I can say I changed my approach towards teaching the language. I mean, there's a concept that I gained from the US concerning languages. If you realize that you are learning, this means you're not learning. Okay, so learning happens subconsciously, especially when it comes to languages. Learning happens subconsciously, and learning must be fun. This is the key. This is what I got from the US, and I try to apply here in Egypt when I came. Yeah.
For me, the impact of the experience on my students or anybody I knew in the US, for my students, as it seemed Arabic is difficult, but now it's interesting because of the culture. You give them different aspects. When they found themselves at the end of after finishing 102, writing a short story for kids in Arabic, and it was fantastic, and they felt impressed about what they did. About other people, I'm still in touch with them, talking regularly from time to time, asking and telling them whenever they will have the opportunity, they will come to Egypt, because now I changed some aspects, something we have stereotype about Egypt, and now change it. This is mainly the part. Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay.